Shalom, this is Levi Shore. Welcome back to Swing Torah. We're doing Parsha Noach, rebuilding the world with kindness. So we're going to ask a couple questions. So first, why did Hashem feel like he had to destroy the whole world? What led to that drastic condition where the whole world had to be destroyed? And then to save the world and rebuild the world with kindness, what was the plan? Why did he put Noach and Noach's wife Naamah and the three sons, and Noach's three sons, and their wives? Why did he put them on the teva, on the ark, and why did he give them the task of taking care of all the animals? So what was the point? So why did the world have to be destroyed? And then to rebuild the world with kindness, what was the plan? So first, it's interesting. The Midrashim tell us that before the flood, Hashem had the laws of nature on a very different setting. It was more miraculous than we know now. So when a woman gave birth, the child within a week would be fully grown, walking and talking. So there wasn't the pain of raising children, and there wasn't as much work and struggle as there used to be. People were healthy. People never saw the death of their children. The crops were massively abundant. There's one midrash that says they could plant and live off that one harvest for 40 years, and people were bigger physically. They were physically bigger and stronger. They weren't sick, and they led miraculously long lives. I mean, it tells us that Adam Rishon, Adam the first man, lived 930 years. The Torah records the longest living person was Methuselah, who lived I think it was 969 years. And then Noach himself was 600 when the flood started, and he lived many years after that, hundreds of years after that. So people lived incredibly long lives. So life was really easy. But you would think, instead of being really grateful to Hashem and blessing and thanking Hashem, it was quite the opposite. People began to quickly not feel chas v'shalom the need for Hashem, and they would drift away quickly, and they were engaged in avodah zarah, where they started worshiping everything else but Hashem. Instead of giving thanks to this one infinite being that was giving them this life in this incredibly miraculous world, they completely abandoned that and started worshiping everything else and started creating these man-made religions. And then there was the gilas arayos, the physical immorality. Hashem has clearly stated that he wants, the ideal relationship is he wants a man to marry a woman and have children, and that's how the world should be populated and run. And anything deviating from that is this giloi arayos, is this physical immorality. And then there was bloodshed, there was killing. And then the final straw for Hashem was Hamas, was when people would just steal from each other, when there was no respect for each other's property. When Hashem gave them this miraculous life, this very easy life, where they had great wealth, they were very healthy, they lived incredibly long lives, instead of being thankful, to then feel like they need to steal from each other when they had everything they could possibly want, was the final straw. And in a world like that, Hashem saw it cannot exist any longer, and he had to he shut it down. It's really fascinating. I mean, it says in the Zohar that Hashem returned the world back to where it was, before the second day, where the face of the earth was completely covered with water. And before Hashem separated the water out to create the dry land, to create the continents, he reset everything. And then outside the teva, outside the ark, Hashem completely shut down all the stars and mazalos, all the constellations. He turned off the whole thing. He turned off if the mashal is, if this was a play on a stage, Hashem shut down all the lights, and then those people just living in a box on the stage, and everything outside was dark. And he had to completely reset, because a world where people aren't respecting each other and aren't being kind to each other, it's not a world that should be, there's no purpose for that world. So what was Hashem's plan to rebuild it? So he wanted to rebuild the world with chesed. He created the world with chesed, with kindness and rachamim and compassion, and he needs to rebuild that world. So what did Hashem do? Hashem put Noach and Naamah, his wife, he put them into the teva, and the three sons, Shem, Yafes, and Ham, and their wives, and he gave them a task. He gave them the job that they had to take care of the animals. So what is this? So what was Hashem doing? So Hashem was rebuilding the world with kindness. He was showing that the very first way that we can start, to learn the trait of chesed is to take care of animals. And we see that with our pets. We love our pets. We feed them. We take them for walks. We clean their cages or whatever they need. And it's that first step of having a world of kindness. And then hopefully from there, from learning just to take care of animals, from being kind and compassionate to animals, hopefully it will elevate to the next level where people are kind, to other people. So Hashem's plan is that he wants a husband and wife to get married, the Ab and the Ima, and then they have kids, and then they take care of the kids, and now it's a much longer process. Childhood, who knows? I mean, people say maybe it goes all the way until 30 now, or longer, where you're taking care of your kids. But you're learning chesed, you're learning kindness, and you're learning to care about other people. Learn to care, husbands and wives are caring for each other, you're caring for your children. And then hopefully it's a world where it is Biker, there's a Biker Cholim. Oh, I'm sorry, I completely forgot. I wanted to dedicate this shiur for the Refuah Shleimah of Yosaif Avraham ben Malkah. But there's mitzvah Biker Cholim to visit the sick and to take care of people that are sick. And then when our parents get older, to take care of them. And what Hashem wanted on the Teva was to rebuild the world with kindness. We live in a world now, and unfortunately it's becoming very, very much like the world before the flood. It's very scary. I mean, we have a political system and a media, and they're no longer just debating with each other about which policy will be better, for the country. I mean, we're talking vicious political attacks. I mean, the corruption is off the scales. And we have a news media that's not just trying to even influence you just to vote for one candidate or the other. They're trying to get you to hate the people that are supporting a different candidate. And it's just so divisive, and it's just having such this horrible effect on the world. We're trying to get people to hate each other and to fight with each other. And there's just so much tension and conflict. And then, I mean, we're seeing governments around the world that are just embracing immorality, the same immorality that we saw before the flood. And the way to offset all this is with chesed, is with kindness. And who cares, what candidate? It really doesn't affect our lives as much as we think. It affects the leaders' lives. It affects the politicians' lives. It gives them, a position of power. It gives them a position, of maybe they can make more money, and Chas v'Shalom, through this corruption, they can make a untold amount of money. But we have to fight all this, and the way to fight all this is not fighting with each other. The way to create a better world is not. I mean, we're not creating a better world by hating other people because they're not voting for the same politician we're voting for. We can create a better world by kindness to each other. That's how we rebuild the world. We rebuild the world through chesed. Caring about other people, getting out of ourselves, caring about other people, and it can begin with just pets, just taking care and loving your pets, raising your children, taking care of, friends and family if they get sick or if they need your help, taking care of our parents when they get older. And that's how we rebuild a better world. It's not going to be through this broken political system of this fighting and vicious attacks on each other. A better world is going to come through a world rebuilt with kindness and compassion. Okay, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you back again soon on Sweet Good Torah.